Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane, host is in Chiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. Breaking news is that Malusi Gigaba, one of my favorite politicians, has reported or handed himself over to the Idac office. And I see how this thing is being reported on mainstream media, and how it is made to sound like he's been arrested today. He's going to appear in court today. He's probably going to be released on bail. If you're not following the story properly, that's probably how you're going to take it if you are listening to the mainstream media reporters, because that's how they must report it. They must make it sound as if it's a very big thing and it is very serious and the guy is being arrested today. And I think nothing could be further from the truth. So I decided, okay, let me just make some notes, go and tell my people on King Said So what is happening. Before I do that, let me thank each and every one of you who have, consciously decided to support the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. We really appreciate that you guys see it fit that this dream of building education school, an African school. We always explain the difference, that there's a difference between building a school in Africa and building an African school. What we are building is an African school, not a school in Africa, because a school in Africa could still be captured in the clashes of European education. So we're trying to do something that is very different, and we are trying to say, as Africa, we need a better education system. The education system that we are currently having is not competing with the likes of China, with the likes. You have to take your child to very expensive private schools for your child to be competing at an Oxford level, if you know what I'm trying to say. So we're saying this school is a school that is going to concentrate on African history studies. We're going to concentrate on economics. We're going to concentrate on technology. We're going to concentrate on agriculture, but also we're going to concentrate on military studies, so that our children can be fit on, not only in the spirit and in the mind, but physically as well. So that's what we are trying to do at Paseta. We have started building, and we have started with the walls of the gate. You guys have seen the story. If you haven't heard a lot about Paseta, please visit our YouTube channel, which is Paseta School. You're going to find a lot of crazy content there speaking about the project that we are trying to do at Paseta, and you're going to meet a lot of people from the marketing team in Paseta, the media team rather, in Paseta. So go that side and don't stop sending your 50 Rand contributions. We really appreciate the support that you guys are giving us. Okay, so we wake up, or as the morning processes, we get news that Idac has called in Malusi Gigaba. Those who don't know what Idac is the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption. So it's a unit under the national, the NPA, the National Processing Aid. What is the NPA? Let me say the NPA. I forgot what the NPA stands for. So the NPA, it's got a unit under it that focuses on corruption, which is Idac. Like I said, investigative, a directorate against corruption. They are the ones who are concentrating on this thing, and they've been having cases against, or they've been having files against Malusi Gigaba and a lot of people that were connected to the Gupta families since the Zondo Commission. We know that since the Zondo Commission, they've been focusing on especially the faction of Jacob Zuma. So Malusi Gigaba, we know he was the Minister of Public Enterprise at one point. This was in 2010, somewhere there, 2011, and he was the Minister of Home Affairs. You guys know he was also the Minister of Finance. So this time around, we are zooming into what he did, or the role that he played when he was the Minister of Public Enterprise under Transnet. You guys know that a lot of money that was, if you guys remember carefully, from I think 2010 to 2014, he was the Minister of Enterprise, and Transnet had a tender where they were buying locomotives from two companies of China, and I think the amount was something like 2 billion rand. But then it skyrocketed from the 2 billion to the 70 billion, and that is where now we are having problems now with that. So, and Transnet, I don't know, the Transnet has got the capacity to build its own locomotives. And if you look at what Brian Molefe has done during his period, because this is also during his period, and this is why the Gupta family and everyone is involved now in this saga. When you listen carefully at the what you call the Zondo Commission, the State Capture Commission. Hey, or State Capture Commission, for me, one of the highlights that I remember is Gigaba's wife going there and singing, throwing up her husband underneath the train, literally underneath a moving locomotive. Literally. I remember that time, and I was like, yo, this wife, she sang everything. She talked about everything, the money that they got from the Guptas, going to the Guptas family, the Guptas coming, a family house, and the Guptas coming to their homes and everything. She sang about everything. So when we look at that period, it is during that period of Brian Molefe, Jacob Zuma, State Capture, Guptas, everything. They were also part of that. So when you then understand what is going on here, is that Malusi Gigaba was said that he is also was said to receive a lot of cash from the Gupta family. He had Transnet drivers driving him to the residence of the Gupta family, and there is where he was getting all of those monies. And yeah, that is sad. It's not only him, by the way. They will make it seem like it's only him, but it's not only him. There is some other 5 co-accused in the same saga in Transnet, Brian Molefe being one of them, and others. So they all have to answer to what is going on here. So Malusi Gigaba, from what I'm hearing, has been called or handed himself over to the Idac office. And that is where he will be asked some questions, and from there Idac will then decide if there is a case to answer to, and then they will open the case and he will go to court and all of those things. I don't think that is going to happen today. Today we're probably going to get an interview from Malusi Gigabite saying telling us what is going on there. So Brian Molefe is also currently in court because of the similar related charges. He's with some co-accused from Transnet. They are all there. So they are also answering to that. Is there going to be a complete success and a turnaround arrest on these cases? Probably not now, but their hunt continues for the Zuma faction. Their hunt continues for those who have put their hands in the cookie jar and have corrupt tendencies and have dealt wrongly with the state money. So you can imagine when Gigaba came into the not Transnet, as a Minister of Public Enterprise, there was already a deal with 2 Chinese companies, and that deal was amounting to 2 billion rand. How from 2 billion to 70 billion? Is things that he has to go and answer. I'm sure they've got answers for that, because I'm sure the deal changed shapes and forms as things went and went by. As you will hear, I will just put a recording of Brian Molefe. Brian Molefe explains what happened during his time there in Transnet, and I think this video is also very important. One thing we must be careful of at all times is how mainstream media reports news. Be very careful. They poison us through that box called tell a vision. They tell a certain vision so that a narrative and propaganda can be pushed against certain people, to such an extent that we as the public prejudge people before they even come and answer. That's something that I've learned a long time ago. That's why I stopped having DSTV and all of those things, because I knew that these people are poisoning us every day in through mainstream media. And that's why we fell in love with alternative media, which is your newsstream media, podcasting and all of that, because you could analyze and break things a little bit better without having an agenda, if you know what I'm saying. So I say Malusi Gigaba's hands is probably not clean. It's probably not squeaky clean, but also we've been told half truths so that we can push a certain narrative also as the public, so that we can prejudge people and all of that. So let these people go to court, let them go and answer for all of this money that was looted, that has been said it has been looted and everything, so that we can get to the bottom of this. It's not going to end. I'm quite happy to see that the EFF will be marching to the Constitutional Court about the issue of the Phala Phala issue. I'm very happy about that. The justice and the police must not have eyes for certain people and leave other people alone. They must attack all of us, and all of us must be equal in front of the law, which is not the case. If you think we are equal in front of the law, I don't know. Thank you so much, guys. Let's meet on the next one. Until we meet again, don't forget to click the subscribe button for many more updates on the political sides of things in South Africa. And until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Please watch this video of Brian Molefe when he was with our brother Dr. Season Pofu Welsh. This is what he said.
But I still think that the fact that we're assembling cars means that there could be a reason to manufacture a car. I don't know if you know, and very few people talk about this, but during my time at Transnet,
yes,
we established a research and development unit. And we said to the research and development unit, you must design a train, a locomotive that is made in South Africa.
Wow.
Not a wagon. We do manufacture wagons, by the way, in Utenake and in Germiston and other parts of the country. The wagon is easy. Wagon is a wheelbarrow. But the locomotive is an engine that pulls the wagons of a train. Right? We recruited the best engineering students, the A students, the students that passed their engineering degrees with distinctions. We recruited them to the R&D unit. And we got them. They came and they were excited. And we designed this locomotive.
Wow.
It's called the Trans-Africa locomotive. We designed this locomotive. And then one of the things that we said was, because we need locomotives, we're going to buy 1,000 of them, 1,000 locomotives. And those 1,000 locomotives were bought from the Chinese, the Germans, and the Americans, and the Chinese, the Germans, and the Americans, and the Canadians, Bombardier.
Right.
And I said, or we said at the time, all these 1,000 locomotives will be assembled in South Africa. The people that say they can supply us with locomotives must just bring the parts here. And the parts that they bring must not be things that we can get in South Africa. Like the windscreen of a train. There's no need to import a windscreen or a seat. We make seats for BMW with our cowhide. So the best seats in the luxury sedans is from hide from South Africa. So the seat in a train is not a complicated thing to do. We can do. So we agreed that there would be local content and we will do that. That's the 1,000 locomotives. Yeah? And then we said, these R&D students must sit with the people that plan the putting together of the trains. And they must go understand the best technology of the different parts of the train from the 4 manufacturers from the whole world. And out of that, we built the Trans-Africa locomotive, made in South Africa. The train, the locomotive, was launched actually by President Zuma while I was still at Transnet. It was launched. It was tested and commissioned. It was ready to operate. Unfortunately, soon thereafter, there was a request that, we have so much load shedding, can you please go and assist us at Eskom? And I went there. And Mr. Gama continued with the program. And under him, I think 3 or 4 more locomotives were built, made in South Africa. Those locomotives are there. There's nothing wrong with them, except we've stopped the production of those locomotives. In fact, when we bought the 1,000 locomotives, part of the contract said, if we can build our own locomotive, we will scale back what we're going to buy from you.
It's November.
And for what reason was the project stopped? Was it?
I don't know. I had left. And so the people involved there were the Americans, the Germans, the Canadians, and the Chinese. For the first time, the Chinese we were going to work with the Chinese as a BRICS partner in locomotive procurement. Guess what? The tender for the 1,000 locomotive is considered, even by the Zondo Commission, to have been corrupt. But the corruption is only as far as it relates to the Chinese. There's no allegation that we did any corruption with the Americans, the Germans, or the Canadians. Even that is the case now, that is for which we were
I see.
arrested. It was the procurement 1064, 1,064 locomotives. That is the case. This is about it's not even, the charges against us is not even corruption. It's not money laundering. It's not racketeering. It's just PFMA violation, fraud. But the fraud, 2 of the fraud charges were dropped. So I don't think they'll be able to prove any fraud because now I know what the elements of fraud are, how it's defined, and what is the case law on fraud. And I don't think it satisfies any of that. PFMA violations, personally, I don't think there's a case. But now we're going to court to pay these legal fees. But the manufacturing of the locomotives has stopped. Just when you finish here, pick up the phone and ask Transnet, where is the Trans-Africa locomotive? One day I was at the airport after I had left Transnet. I think I was still at Eskom, or just after I had left Eskom, but I was just passing through the airport. And a young engineer from Transnet comes to me and he says, Mr. Molefe, guess what I have in my bag? I said, what? And he opened the bag, big bag, and it was a model of the Trans-Africa locomotive. And she says, I'm catching a plane. I'm flying to Kenya and Tanzania. I'm going to show them these locomotives and I'm going to try and get orders so we can build it for them. I was so excited. I became very, very emotional. But I think soon thereafter, nothing came of it. So to answer your question, which is what should be done, I think we must do things.
Yeah.
We must do. If we can just get into the frame of mind of doing things. This mic, who made this mic? What are the components in this mic? Can we not manufacture this mic? Now that we are such a big hip hop, what, Mapiano, but where do the mics come from? Everything that is around us, the camera, let's make things, and growth will just come by itself.